what are the biggest mistakes homeowners make when it comes to roof maintenance?
That's a good question. I think a lot of
where to begin.
I think a lot of homeowners don't even think about roof maintenance. Gutters are full of leaves. You can tell no one has looked at the roof for many years. They don't have a claim. A lot of homeowners will be like, well, I've never filed a claim on my house. But you probably should have 10 years ago.
Welcome to Lawrence Real and Local, Keeping It Real podcast presented to you by the Lawrence Board of Realtors. We're your go-to source for all things real estate in Lawrence, Kansas. I'm Lexie Haskin with Flint Mortgage.
And I'm Campbell Ragan with McGrew Real Estate. Together, we're here to make the journey to home ownership a breeze. Join us as we share insider insights, expert advice, and a dose of fun along the way.
So welcome to Lawrence Real and Local, Keeping It Real podcast by the Lawrence Board of Realtors. My name is Lexie Haskin with Flint Mortgage.
And my name is Campbell Ragan with McGrew Real Estate.
And we are joined here today with Nate Robertson with the Vision Roofing. So thank you so much for coming and joining us.
Yes, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I mean, especially we were trying to think of topics for this year and we were just like roofs. Because especially when we're talking to people, well, on my end, when I'm talking to insurance agents, they're always like, well, how old's the roof? What's the roof age? What is this going on? And I'm like, okay, this is obviously like a big topic right now.
Insurance companies have really started to care about roofs a lot more in the past, probably just year and a half, 2 years.
Yep.
So I think it's great that we're talking about this today, and hopefully we get more information of how to take care of a roof so that eventually we don't always just have to replace them.
Yeah. So I mean, how does a new roof impact the home value and like insurance costs?
Your house is your most
valuable asset.
But yeah, your most. Sorry, my mind just went blank.
No,
is your most valuable asset, and having a good roof to cover it, to protect it, is one of the best things to have. So
yeah,
to protect that. So the value, the insurance cost on it will go down. Usually, the insurance companies will give you a discount for a new roof replacement. Obviously, insurance companies don't like to insure roofs fully. After it goes over like 10 years.
Yeah.
So it was 15 years. Now it's 10 years. Now it's maybe going to 5 years. But I mean, your house is your most valuable asset, and you should obviously have a good roof on it, protected.
Yeah. I mean, it protects your valuable items inside as well.
Yes.
So
your valuables, your family.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, how can weather and climate affect the longevity of a roof?
Like here in Kansas, we have obviously crazy weather.
Yeah.
It could be snowing for a long time, ice, get some nice warm days and sunshine, and then have a good, windstorm, rainstorm, thunderstorm come through, and then snow the following day.
Which is literally what just happened. I mean, like we had beautiful spring weather. Sorry, I know this airs later, but for reference, we had beautiful spring weather for like a week, and then we had a blizzard. I mean, 50-mile-per-hour winds, and you said you were getting lots of calls for, trees on roofs and all the things. So, I mean, Kansas weather is crazy.
Yeah. You said
that's
it.
All I gotta say.
That's all you said it. Yeah, that's it. She said it loud for the people in the back, and we'll just go from there.
Crazy. We get all 4 seasons here.
We do.
So, does the weather impact? I mean, it probably does. It impacts different types of roofs differently. So, I mean, what is the best kind of roof for our area,
for our climate?
Typically, in this area, people go with asphalt shingles. That's the most typical, cost-effective material that we use. It does get damaged really easily, in my opinion, by hail, wind. If it's not a good brand with a good warranty behind it, it could be blowing off the roof a lot easier. A lot more issues like that with it. So in my opinion, on my personal house, I have a stone coated steel roof. It's made out of steel. It looks like wood shake. It comes in a few different patterns. The one I chose was a wood shake pattern. But it's made out of steel. It has granules on it, just like an asphalt shingle.
Interesting.
But it's a 50-year material. It's no maintenance.
Yeah.
It's not going to get blown off. It's not going to catch on fire.
Is it noisier?
In my opinion, no.
Huh.
I do get that.
Yeah, question quite a
Question.
lot.
Yeah, I was curious about that too.
Because I think that's the reputation those type of roofs have, is it's going to be noisier. You're going to hear everything.
There's certain types of metal roofs.
Yeah.
Like a flat panel, standing seam, ag panel type material. It's smooth. It's just painted. Those could get more, make more noise inside your attic, or inside your house. And I believe that, if you have proper insulation, you have a solid deck on it, you're not some of those flat panel metal roofs have not a solid deck, so the noise comes into the house.
You mentioned different warranties that exist. So can you kind of speak to some of those different warranties?
Well, a lot of the asphalt shingles nowadays have come out to lifetime warranties. Most all the brands, there's lots of brands of different shingles. And they all they're pretty close in price range. If you go to some of the certain brands that we use around here, but they do all carry a certain like wind warranties, and they are definitely built differently. But just the quality of the roofing materials in the last few years has gotten better.
So like the shingles themselves have a warranty, so the product does, but then is there like a workmanship warranty when you guys put the roof on that exists as well? Or
yes, most all manufacturers have a manufacturer warranty on their products, as long as it's been installed according to their specifications. Usually there's not an issue with that. If you have a claim for that product, say the product failed, after the install, they'll come back out, make sure you installed it correctly. And if so, they usually will take care of that. Some of them will have a warranty, not just on materials, but they'll have it on the installation as well. But for our company ourselves, we offer a 10-year workmanship warranty, which usually within the first year, you'll know if you have an issue or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
A lot of companies out there will do a 5-year, 10-year. Even in my opinion, if you're doing a roof for a client, and like I've done multiple roofs for the same house, been doing this 30 years now here in Lawrence, and in this area. So I've done the same house multiple times. The workmanship warranty usually should really be a lifetime warranty. If you're in the industry, and you're out there doing roofs for a number of years, you should be able to go. Your client should be able to feel comfortable enough to come back to you and say, "Hey, let's, we've got another storm. Let's go ahead and take care of this again." So,
yeah. So I actually had a question. So you were talking about how the roof that you have in your house is a 50-year roof, but insurance companies are not insuring it roofs that for more than 10 years right now. Because of the type of roof that you have, does that change at all? Are they willing to insure longer than that based on the type of roof that you have?
Yes. Most of the reason why is most of it, the broad material that's used is an asphalt shingle.
Yeah.
So they're basing it off that. So if you are going to put on a metal roof, obviously you need to understand what kind of policy you have or what you're looking at, because on on metal roofs, a lot of people don't understand that they'll put in a exclusion on for like dents or stuff like that.
Yep. So your first hailstorm, you're going to get dents in it. I mean,
you could.
Yeah.
I mean, in the type of roof that I have, it's a stone coated steel roof. It's probably one of the more advanced type roofs that are out there that for longevity, looks, the strength of it, just all that. It doesn't show the dents.
Yeah.
Like a flat panel metal roof type would. So, but if it did and you weren't covered correctly with your insurance company, they might say, well, the roof is still intact. It's still serving its purpose. It does have dents in it. You have a clause in your insurance saying that they're not covered dents. Then you have to live with those dents or pay for it out of your own pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just talk with your insurance company and see before you're getting a new roof, but then to understand the implications of the roof that you're choosing.
Yes.
Material.
I would say that understanding your policy, understanding your deductibles, and what they actually cover. I mean, I feel a lot of people don't even know. When I speak with them, they don't even know who their insurance provider is.
Yeah.
They don't know what their deductibles are.
Your policy changes every year. You should be looking at that.
And what your policy actually covers.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But that's a good point. A lot of people probably don't really dig deep into it. So,
which is another reason why it's important to have a local insurance agent that you can talk with and not just finding a random policy online that is the cheapest. So.
Cheap does not always equal better.
No,
it doesn't.
Usually.
No.
We won't get into that. So how often should a homeowner inspect their own roof? Well, sorry, not their own roof, maybe. How often should they just inspect it in general, having someone come out and take a look?
Well, in general, I don't think some homeowners are definitely capable of looking at their own roof.
Yes.
But
and some have no business. My grandpa fell and shouldn't have been doing it himself. So putting that out there, know your limitations.
In the broad spectrum of it, I would have a licensed, insured roofing contractor come out and just inspect the roof itself in general. Certain roofs, you have to step on them in a certain way. You don't know if there's a loose shingle where you're going to fall off and don't know how to. You might just slip off and trip or lose your balance as a typical homeowner, and it doesn't. Usually, it's a free service that we would provide to come out and take a look and do an inspection on a roof.
So what are some signs, though, that there might actually be a repair that's needed? Are there signs that somebody can see inside, outside?
Both.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you have staining on your ceiling because of a leak going on, you could get up on the roof and look at it. It's not necessarily just a missing shingle, or it could be a missing shingle. It could be a ripped shingle. It could be flashing a pipe boots that has deteriorated, the rubber part of it deteriorated, a wall flashing. Depending on when the last time the roof was replaced, it may not have ice and water shield around the walls or around the eave of the roof, which is a typical thing that we do now. Most companies put it on there. Insurance companies, unless you can prove to them that it's there, they usually don't pay for it. But as long as you can prove that it was there when you go to do it, most quality roofing companies will put on ice and water shield just to protect the homeowner and themselves for callbacks.
So what are the biggest mistakes homeowners make when it comes to roof maintenance?
Well, I think that's a good question. I think a lot of
where to begin.
I think a lot of homeowners don't even think about roof maintenance unless there's something going on. They don't do any maintenance on it. A lot of the homes that I go to do inspections on to see about if there's been any wind or hail damage done to it. gutters are full of leaves. You can tell no one has looked at the roof for many years. As long as they don't have a claim. A lot of homeowners will be like, "Well, I've never filed a claim on my house." Well, you probably should have 10 years ago, in my opinion,
Yeah.
to get this covered because, the cost of roofing materials goes up every 5 years, probably 40%. And we get as a roofing company, we'll get price increases by our suppliers 6 times a year. So it prices of materials, as we know, everything is going up in price.
Yeah. Yep.
So it costs more for the materials. It costs more for the labor. And in general, it just costs more for everybody.
It's interesting that you brought up the gutters because every once in a while, my dad will drive past my house and he'll say, "I can see your gutters from the street. You need to get up and clean those." So I'm like, okay, I will.
Yeah, I mean,
get up there and clean my gutters.
And I have gutter guards on my house. I typically try to steer homeowners to get gutter guards put on.
Yeah.
It does help with that. You get your leaves full of gutters and you get rain or snow and ice built up on there. There's nowhere for it to go. You get ice dams built up on your roof, and then you'll have some interior damage. Stuff like that. Gutter guards just help protect that. Helps keep the weights out of the gutter, so they're working properly, shedding the water and whatnot off of your roof.
So what's your opinion on if somebody doesn't have a gutter guard and they take a leaf blower up onto their roof to go, clean their gutters out? Is that cringy to you?
No, I mean it has to be done.
I believe that would be a good way to get them out.
Well, I know, I used to do it manually, but I saw this hack to where you could take your leaf blower up and you did it really fast.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know if that would be bad for your roof, technically having that extra stuff blowing all over it. But I mean, I guess they have to deal with wind and stuff like that.
No, I mean, it just really comes down to the fact that, are you being safe? Are you going to, that kind of stuff. So, and there are services where you can get your gutters cleaned, but professionally. So but some homeowners, they want to save money and do it that way. And you can do it that way, or scoop it by it with a glove in your hand, Yeah,
Campbell was looking at me because she knew I was talking about myself. She's like,
I did.
She's picturing me up on the roof with a leaf blower. I actually almost did that when I was 5 months pregnant. I was like, these need to be cleaned. I'm going to go there with and my husband was like, you get off of that roof.
Know your limitations.
Yes.
That was probably past that. So
Lexie, you probably shouldn't have been on the roof.
Nope. No, thank you.
I would have to agree with that. So, yes.
I will say I don't have a very tall house. It's not super tall.
Yeah, it really is not.
It wouldn't have been that bad of a fall.
Not that bad of a fall.
Yeah, not that bad of a fall.
Okay. Anyways. Are there any other techniques that one can take when, doing the spring cleaning and items other than gutters? Are there any other recommendations?
Yeah, I mean, you can, roofs, depending on their pitch of the roof, the surroundings of the property. Is there a lot of trees? Is there a lot of, do you have leaves up in your valleys of your roof? Do you have limbs or small limbs or whatever just sitting up on your roof where, keeping it clean is probably, one of the main things. So you don't,
collect all the items up there.
You don't have
and,
much
debris.
stuff up on your roof.
Yeah. Well, just trimming the trees away from the roof as well.
Yeah,
so
the
that it's
limbs.
not, continuing to drop. We had huge trees at our old house. And so we would constantly have to do that. And we would trim back stuff that would, overhang it so that it wasn't scratching it. And dropping lots of things.
And when you have a limb or, limb with leaves on it that's rubbing against your roof, it's taking the granules off that shingle.
Yeah.
And, an asphalt shingles, as there's a matting, it's made out of asphalt. There's a matting, and then there's granules on top of it. The granules are really what protect the shingle itself. If you start losing the granules, then your matting gets exposed, and
just a matter of time at that point.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to that point, I mean, a lot of the times you can be on the ground and you can look up at your roof and you can see those granules. And if you can't see those, that's probably a sign you need to have it checked out and have someone stop by and see if that's the case on the entire roof or just one area. And
yeah,
at that point. So,
yep.
So, I mean, we do know that there are people that will just go door to door and knock and say, hey, I can replace your roof.
Yeah.
So what is the best way? And I mean, and a lot of those people, they aren't insured. They're just people going around. What is the best way that somebody can vet someone that is coming around to do roofs, or if they want to get their roof replaced?
Well, that is true. There's a lot of storm chasers out there that will come into a town and try to get on roofs and get roofs started with an insurance company, with the homeowner, and they may come in and do the job and be gone, and you don't have anybody there to, for the warranty or any of that kind of stuff. In case there is an issue, they're already in the next town, next states, type stuff. And I'm not saying that door knocking or storm chasing is a bad thing. I think that I've done it myself in the period of time I've been doing it. I think it can be a good thing. I think it's a good way to get new people that are wanting to be in the roofing sales or in the roofing industry, to get them talking in front of customers, getting on roofs to see how things are. I started with installing roofs.
Yeah.
So I think there's a point where a lot of sales guys or people that are in the roofing industry need to know how to talk to customers, know what the materials are, how to install a roof, know the insurance side of it as well.
I was going to say, I've just heard some stories recently from a couple realtors of people that have come into the different neighborhoods and they aren't actually insured, and you can even find them later. And they weren't necessarily like storm chasers by any means. I didn't know if that was like a more recent scam or hustle or something like that, or if you've heard anything of that too.
Well, in Kansas, you need to be registered with the Attorney General's office, roofing registration. You can always ask for that certificate, and they should carry. You're supposed to carry that in your vehicle. They should have that. They should have a copy of their insurance. They should have, all those kind of things. You can ask them.
You want to make sure they're insured, because if they're not insured, it's going to fall on your own homeowner policy if they fall off your roof and get hurt. And let's hope that you have coverage for that in your insurance policy that you may not have read the best.
Yeah, I mean, they should be insured.
Yeah.
They should be licensed
Yep.
In that field. They should be registered with the state of Kansas Attorney General's office, in good standings. All that kind of stuff should all play an effect in making a decision of who you're going to allow to, protect your biggest investment.
Yeah. A bid might come in, $500 cheaper, but in the end, if they don't have those
protections in place,
then you might reconsider.
Yeah. And see, we do 95% of our work is insurance work. So versus retail, there's probably 5% of it is retail. We don't do much retail, unless, most homeowners aren't trying to pay $40,000 out of pocket.
What?
Crazy. Woo. Yeah.
You could be one of the first.
Don't tempt me.
No. So in that case, but there are some people that want to get a better roof. They know they're going to have to get it.
Yeah.
Their shingles are expired. Insurance is not going to pay for it. They know they have to do it.
Yeah.
So what they'll do is, they'll get some bids and stuff like that. But I've talked to some, and we've done some jobs where that were retail, and we were not the cheapest, and we're not the cheapest company. There's a lot of guys out there that are cheaper that are that do a lot of retail, and we do insurance claims, and typically because there's roof, gutters, siding, windows, interior damage, stuff like that, and we handle the full claim.
Yeah.
Multiple buildings.
You're like a one-stop shop sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, we can take care. We have subs. We have other guys that are good in other fields.
Resources set up to do that,
and they'll come in and in the time frame that we need them to come in and take care of those issues. So.
Well, and I'm sure you help the homeowner walk through the insurance process too, because that can be complicated to make sure you're meeting deadlines and, doing it the correct way. So
yeah, whenever I go talk to a homeowner, I'm there to inspect the property, and they've called me to see if there's damage enough to file a claim, or it was a call from a realtor that has a property for sale to close. They know the roof has come up, and the buyer doesn't want to pay for a new roof, and the seller doesn't want to pay for a new roof. So, if that's the case, so I get the call to come in and take a look and see if it would qualify for an insurance to come in and see if they will take care of it. And that's really not every roof also doesn't qualify. So,
it might not be a full new roof, but a partial, or just fixing certain parts that the insurance company might cover.
Yeah.
So.
I was going to say on that, like if it's just a partial fix, does the homeowner need to call the original person that did their roof to fix that partial, or can they go with any company?
Really, you can go with anybody on that portion of it, just as long as they know what they're doing. But if that homeowner already has a good working relationship with the person that did the roof before, there wouldn't be any issue just calling them back up and say, hey, we have a couple little issues. Can you come take care of it for us? If they can't, then, I'm sure you can find another qualified individual or company that can come out and take care of that. So,
yeah.
Awesome. Do we want to get into the fact and fiction section?
Fact and fiction. Sure.
All right. Or, sorry,
No, fact,
not
yeah,
and.
fact and fiction.
They might be both. Who knows? Okay, number one. A roof should be replaced every 10 years, no matter what.
I would say that would be fiction. So I would have to agree on that portion of it. It depends really on the material that you have on your roof. As long as you have proper maintenance, looking at it. And honestly, we were asked that already, but you should do that yearly. Just do an inspection of your roof like yearly to see the condition of it. You don't know what storms have been through. Some homeowners don't even know there was a storm. They were on vacation.
Yeah.
They didn't even know there was a storm in their neighborhood. So.
Or you thought it was a little baby storm and you were sound asleep and it was pouring.
Yep.
Who knows?
We sleep to rain sounds. So, I mean, like a little ASMR right there. Sorry.
Okay, number 2. Dark shingles make your home hotter in the summertime.
Now, my opinion is this. A lot of people will say that's a fact. Asphalt, if it depends on what you have, really. Asphalt shingles are made out of asphalt. So regardless of the color of it, it's going to be hot.
Hot.
Really, the color of the shingle, it's still going to absorb heat and put it into your attic, as long as you have proper ventilation. As long as you could also get a cool. They're called cool roofs, where it's made and manufactured for reflectivity of the sunlights. So it doesn't absorb the heat. You are paying more for it. But as a regular, typical asphalt shingle, a lot of people will say, it's the darker the color, the hotter your roofs, your house is going to be. I really don't feel that way, but you should be addressing your ventilation in your attic space when you're redoing your roof anyways.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So definitely more type of material versus the color.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you should never walk on your roof to inspect it yourself.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Or when you're pregnant.
No, definitely not when you're pregnant.
Yes, definitely.
Definitely not when you're pregnant. You shouldn't be doing it when you're 80 years old either. You know, if you feel uncomfortable at heights, if you feel uncomfortable stuff like that, you probably best just to let someone else do it.
Yeah,
so.
definitely.
So roof leaks are always caused by missing shingles.
No, not just missing shingles. There's multiple different reasons and things for missing shingles, or for roof leaks. Sorry.
Yeah.
Metal roofs are louder in the rain than shingle roofs.
We already talked about this.
Yeah.
That's false.
Fiction.
So.
If you listen to the episode already,
that is false.
Should know the answer.
Yeah, no, metal roofs are great. To be honest with you, that's probably one of the best types of roofs out there that you can get installed on your house. They look amazing.
Honestly, I love the look of them.
Yeah,
I really do.
We have some on our roof in certain spots.
Yeah, so people will use some of that for an aesthetic look for like a standing seam or something like that for their roof. They'll tie it in on a dormer or on a little front porch, something like that. And they're great.
We went for the aesthetics.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But the new type of shingles that are metal are a metal shingle, and they have a stone coated on top of it. So they come in different colors, stone coated with the grit of the shingle, like an asphalt shingle, the granules on it. And you can get them in a few different patterns, like a tile, a regular shingle, a wood shake. And I have wood shake on my house. We had wood shake on our roof. We took it off and put something that would keep kind of the same look.
Yeah.
I drove past a house and it had like a really dark purple, honestly, kind of like your shirt. It was like that color roof, like shingle. And it was like metal. I honestly kind of really liked it. I could go for a purple roof.
Lexie's ready for a new roof.
Yeah.
A new purple roof.
Well, dark roofs are actually one of the most popular colors.
Yeah. I believe
have been out there. A black or something like that.
It's trending right now.
It is. It's been this whole last year has been probably one of the highest sales was black. So
I believe it. Definitely.
Well, I say start pushing purple because that was a cool looking roof.
I don't know any manufacturer that makes a purple shingle. So
I swear I'm not making it up. I swear I saw it somewhere.
She'll find the address and be emailing it to you later.
I was driving on the highway somewhere. I have no clue where I was.
No. Okay. Well,
so I probably won't be able to email you that, but I swear I saw it.
I thought it was local. Never mind.
It was probably someone that painted the roof.
Could be.
So.
I guess somebody could have painted the roof. Yes.
Well, thank you so much for coming on today.
Yes.
We appreciate it. It was necessary for homeowners to realize that there are things they should be doing to their roof.
Yes.
So.
And thank you to the Lawrence Public Library for letting us use this space. It's always a joy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Signing off.
Thanks for joining us on Lawrence Real and Local, Keeping It Real podcast. We appreciate our guests taking the time to join us. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review if you've enjoyed today's episode.
For more information, please visit us on the web at www.lawrencerealtor.com. And remember, whether you are buying, selling, or simply dreaming of your future home, we're here to help. Until next time, keep it real
and happy house hunting.